Hello and welcome back to Karma Stories. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today isn't really a special day, but it is my 44th birthday and I'm here working for you guys, so I hope you enjoy this episode. This one's coming to us from the Best of Redditor Update subreddit. We have 3 stories here, they all have updates. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. This story comes to us from Throw RA Rusher. My 24 male, girlfriend 26 female, does unbelievably stupid and self-centered things in public all the time. I'm honestly ashamed to go out with her. Hi everyone, this is my first time asking for relationship advice online. I've tried to bring the topic up with my friends and family, but I'm never really able to broach the subject out of fear of embarrassing her or ruining their opinion of her. The situation isn't very complicated. I have been in a 6-month-long relationship with a woman, but in public, she does things that the average 10-year-old knows not to. In the past month, she has, on multiple occasions, crowded in front of the door of an elevator and rushed in without letting people off. On multiple occasions, taken out her phone while driving to respond to a text, slowing down to 15 miles per hour under the speed limit while doing so. Walked into a restaurant and instead of waiting to be seated, just navigated her way to where she wanted to sit. Squeezed in, as in pushing her body up into them as she did so, behind a person who was standing up to get off a crowded train so she could sit down before anyone else could grab the seat. Completely ruined a load of my white clothes by stopping the washing machine and throwing a brand new purple shirt of hers in with them. When confronted, she said, "I was in a hurry to wash it." When I try to bring her behavior up, she says that I don't respect her or that I'm being judgmental. She gets incredibly upset and defensive, often telling me reasons why she did the above things. The text was important, her feet hurt on the train, and so on. I'm really desperate for a decent way to convey why her behavior is so absurd to her, because I like her in general, but I don't want to be in a relationship with someone so inconsiderate towards total strangers. Jumping into the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Princess Shira. It says, "There's rude and entitled behavior, like pushing into an elevator before letting people out. There's rude behavior that causes damages to others, like the white clothing incident. Then there's dangerous and possibly criminal, depending on where you live, behavior that potentially causes bodily harm or death, driving and texting. The first 2 groups, I wouldn't want to be with that person, but everyone has different levels of tolerance. The last item, no way would I be with that person. No way. I have zero tolerance to people who endanger others." Another commenter down below called Tuppence ABAG98 said, "She's 26. That frontal lobe is fully developed. If she doesn't see a problem with her behavior, I doubt she's going to change. I suggest sitting down with her and telling her how you feel about her actions in public. Be completely honest, and if she continues, I would say it is time to reassess the relationship. The washer incident tells me that she won't hold herself accountable. But OP, how does she treat or act in front of the people she knows?" I agree with the first commenter that the texting while driving thing is an absolute deal breaker. If your text you think is important enough to put other people's lives at danger, I don't want to be anywhere near you. OP, you need to think of something else here as well. You're in a relationship with this person, possible children down the line. Do you really want to be raising a bunch of children that are going to be just like her? Come on. Ugh, no. Alright, OP updated this one. Let's jump into that now. The update is under the same title and it says, 3 days after I wrote about her self-centered behavior and cosmic victim complex, she made my decision easy for me. We were at the dollar store and in line at the checkout. My girlfriend got to the register where the cashier started scanning all 50 or so items that we wanted. Our total came up and my girlfriend tried to pay by credit card. The cashier apologetically explained that they weren't taking credit cards at that time because their system was acting up all morning. She pointed at the handwritten cash only sign that my girlfriend and I had missed. Neither of us had cash on us. First, my girlfriend tried to debate with the cashier, but I had to patiently explain to her that there was nothing the poor woman could do. As my girlfriend argued her point, whatever the F that was, the line behind us grew with a lot of very rightfully irritated people. There I was, trying to placate my girlfriend as she tried to troubleshoot their equipment, as people were audibly groaning behind us. Finally, she agreed to take the 5 minutes to go across the street and withdraw money from the ATM, which shouldn't have been such a big deal in the first place. My girlfriend told the cashier to keep everything scanned and ready for her to pay when she came back. I was going to interject, but the cashier said, "Ma'am, there are people waiting, I can't do that." With a glance at the line, my girlfriend retorted with, "Oh, they can wait a bit longer." Without a word, she left to get some money. The terrified cashier awkwardly looked at me, seeking permission to cancel the items. I just told her it was fine and to please help the next customer. As person after person paid for their goods, I apologized to each individually. They seemed understanding. My girlfriend got back 10 minutes later because she wanted to get an icy from the corner shop after withdrawing money. When she noticed the items had to be scanned all over again, she entirely flipped her lid. She started ranting about calling corporate, which I'm not even sure exists for that small dollar store chain, and then talked about posting about it on Twitter. Finally, I blew up. I yelled at her for being a very selfish person, with expletives, and just walked away. I'm done. The relationship is done. She's texting me, but I'm not even reading them. Holy Mother of Christ, I really hope the next guy who dates her has the patience of a saint. Or maybe I hope she dates a total self-righteous dickhead who can straighten her out. Jumping into the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Myths Are Crazy Stories. It says, "Wow, that was yikes. She wanted to get an icy. I don't know why, but to me, that part of the story really underlines her craziness. Shaking my head. Congratulations, you finally got out of the way of the bullet and dodged it." OP responded and said, "It's crazy how normalized her behavior has become to me. That barely even registered as a blip. It was like, oh, she decided that instead of making everyone wait 5 minutes, she'd make them wait 10. Yeah, that sounds like her." I also knew if I brought up the icy, exactly what her response would be. "I was thirsty." Another commenter down below called Amazing Amy said, "Where does her entitlement come from?" OP responded and said, "I'm going to bet she was raised by parents who treated her like a princess." There were a bunch of people in the comments of this one saying that if she was going to be acting like this at 26, she's already a gigantic Karen. Can you even imagine how she'd be at like 45, 55? Ugh, somebody you wouldn't want to be anywhere near when they're out in public. Echoing what I said after the first part as well, if this woman were to have kids, could you imagine having little people like her walking around and they can both bitch at people in stores at the same time? Oh, that'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? This story comes to us from Classy Polar Bear 1072. "I don't want my fiance's best friend's wife to come to my wedding. I don't really know what to do, and there is so much backstory here, but I'm really stressing about this girl that's invited to my wedding. I'm not really sure where to start because there is a lot that has led up to this moment. Ultimately, my fiance has had Matt as his best friend for 20 years. Matt is a cool and solid guy, but not trustworthy. Matt just got married to Kat a couple weeks ago, but they had been engaged since 2022. They were never in a rush to get married, and anytime anyone asked, that's exactly what they said. After my fiance and I got engaged winter 2025, and we knew we wanted a short engagement, Matt and Kat immediately started planning their wedding after they found out. Anytime I tried to talk to Kat about her wedding or otherwise, she either gave me an attitude or flat out ignored me. Unless she has had a few drinks where she asks about the tea, she ignores my existence completely. When I attended her bridal shower and wedding, she wouldn't even look in my direction. And when I went up to congratulate her, she sounded less than enthused about it. I recently found out that Kat has been saying terrible things about me when I'm not around, and essentially tries to turn one of my closest friends against me. It seems to be working. According to the people I heard from that Kat was talking bad, they think she might be upset that I'm stealing her man's best friend from him. But what? I don't think that makes sense. I don't want her starting any drama at my wedding. I don't want to be stressed that she and my other close friend are spending time together at my wedding. But this is technically my fiance's call, right? Since it's his best friend's wife. It's as much his day as it is mine, but I don't want this girl bringing her shadow and putting a damper on the whole thing. What could the solution be here? Jumping down to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Capital Emu 2804. It says, I think you're going to have a lot more drama if you don't invite her, to be honest. Just don't sit her with your friends. Opie responded and said, yeah, you're right about the drama. We're having a small ceremony though, 40 people, and there's no seating assignment at the restaurant we booked. It's a buffet and kinda just a lounge type vibe. Another commenter down below called Various Explorer 8503 said, talk to your fiance about all of this. You're under too much stress to carry this alone. And if you're truly a partnership, he'd want to know all of this and what you're thinking. Talk to him and decide together. Opie responded and said, yeah, thank you, that's the plan. One more commenter down below called Accidental Archer said, Opie, is this a pattern for you? And by this I mean, feeling like you have to manage everyone else's emotions to avoid conflict. The reason I ask is that your other post suggests maybe you find it deeply uncomfortable to put yourself forward or let other people manage their own reactions. If I'm wrong, then I'll shut my mouth. If I'm not, and this is a pattern, I feel for you. It's a hard pattern to break, but with work, it is possible. Finally, let people talk about you if you want. It only affects your life if you let it. Be unbothered and focus on yourself. Opie responded and said, thank you for this. I've actually done a lot of work to get where I am, but it's still a work in progress. I've always had issues with feeling like I'm a burden to others and just putting myself last because it's easier to regulate my emotions than deal with other people's emotions. That being said, I figured that a wedding day was important enough to put myself first, but I'm not the only one in the picture here. It's my fiance also. Also, I don't care in the slightest if people talk about me, I just don't want that vibe at my wedding. OP, you're really letting this person get to you, and I think you're overthinking it a bit. I don't think they're going to cause a problem at your wedding because there's going to be a bunch of other people who are there for you and your fiance who will put her in her place if she tries to cause a problem. I would even talk to a few of your close friends and say, here's what I'm worried about, and they can take care of it for you. If you're wondering what OP did in this situation, let's find out. They updated this one 2 weeks later. It says, okay, so fiance and I talked. He had been growing kinda distant from this friend anyway, so he basically told me that we won't pay attention to them since it's our wedding, and afterwards, we don't really need to associate with them. After this talk, his best friend Matt called him on a Saturday afternoon and invited us to his son's birthday party. When fiance told me about this, I asked who was going to be there. Is it a small thing or was this planned and we were an afterthought? Matt's wife Kat would have done all the inviting to the party. Well, we show up and we were definitely an afterthought. This party was pretty huge. Grandparents and great-grandparents were there, all their friends and all their families, etc. We ended up staying for a little bit, but leaving before most of the others. We kept to the plan we spoke about, even though the whole party thing hurt, especially since my fiance is supposed to be this kid's godparent. Anyway, wedding day comes and this group of friends is running late. My fiance kept walking away from the officiant when they asked if we were ready to start to buy time for the friends to show up. They were probably 20 minutes late. Whatever, I don't care. I'm as cool as a cucumber, and I'm just going along with the flow of the day. We get through the ceremony without a hitch after they arrive. After the ceremony, we do posed pics, family, friends, etc. We get to the girls' pic, and Kat is like, do you want me in this? I'm agreeable cause I'm in a fantastic mood and don't really think anything of it. At the reception though, some of my high school friends tell me Kat is being weird, rude, and whatever. My other friend told me at the end of the night that Kat announced her pregnancy when I was in the other room. All in all, there was no direct drama with me and the day was everything I could have asked for and more. I think at this point we're planning on keeping these friends at an arm's length and just living our lives. Thanks to everyone who gave me constructive advice, it was helpful to get some outsider's perspective. Jumping into the comments on this one, we have one from a user called NoodlesMom0722. It says, in this situation, I think keeping these friends at arm's length should mean not doing anything purposely to engage with them and leave the burden of mending the relationship on them. If they don't, then you know that they're no longer really friends, and you can cut your losses. You all sound really young, so you've probably not yet learned that a lot of friendships you make early in your adulthood don't survive as you all grow, mature, and choose different paths in life. Congrats on your wedding, and I hope a very long and fulfilling marriage for you. Ah, yes, announce your pregnancy at somebody else's wedding. Nothing screams douche like trying to make their wedding all about you. OP, I hope you don't make one little ounce of effort to maintain a relationship with these people because you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. They're always going to be trying to one-up you and make everything about them, and that's toxic and will just bring you down. This story comes to us from BF Throwaway 137. My boyfriend, 28 male, has been collecting my, 24 female, rent for a free house. I've been living with my boyfriend for a year. I'm a graduate student, so I have a very minimal income and I'm very upset about this. But my boyfriend says he was trying to do something nice. My boyfriend and I moved in together to a house that he found. He arranged all the landlord stuff and told me to send $1,000 a month to the landlord's bank account. This is a very normal rent for our area, but I could have probably spent less if I'd lived in an apartment. I have been doing so for the last year, only to find out yesterday from his mom that his parents actually own the house and they aren't charging us rent. Upon hearing this, I asked my boyfriend about the $13,000 that he has had me send to some account, and he told me that he was doing it for me as a gift to give back later, so I could see how much I'd saved. I'm livid. I'm not irresponsible with money. I have no debt, and I even have some savings. Over the last year, there have been things I've had to miss out on because they just weren't financially feasible without this money. There have been some times when I couldn't get my tires replaced, or couldn't get a new blazer to replace my threadbare one, so my boyfriend got to swoop in and save the day. It always made me feel so bad that he could just live fine on his salary, not that much higher than mine, but I couldn't live well on mine. Now I know it's because he was spending $1,000 less than I was every month. I don't know what to do. I feel upset and uncomfortable about the whole situation, but my boyfriend won't listen to me. He keeps saying that this was supposed to be a surprise gift, and I'm taking it the wrong way. I don't know what to think. Am I overreacting? OP added a really quick edit at the bottom. It says, edit to clarify that his parents didn't seem to know anything about this and were under the impression that neither of us were paying rent. Jumping into the comments on this one, there's one from a user called Arc13. It says, you aren't overreacting. He broke your trust and doesn't really respect you if it's true. I'd ask for the money back now. How do you even know he still has it really? This would be relationship ending in my book. He is treating you like a child, not a partner. OP responded and said, I asked for it yesterday and he got very angry. He said that if he gives it back while I'm still mad at him, I'll leave him and that I owe him anyway for the time he supported me financially. I know I should pay him back some of it, but I certainly don't owe him $13,000, more like $1,000. Another commenter down below called Ginger Lorax said, oh no, honey, there are so many issues here. First of all, WTF are you doing just trusting your boyfriend to handle your entire living situation? You didn't ever ask to see or sign a lease? You didn't ask to know the total rent or ever want to meet the landlord yourself? You have boundary and independence issues out the wang. That being said, your boyfriend literally stole your money and lied to you. He's manipulative and psycho. Immediately ask for your money back, move out, and break up with him. OP responded and said, I signed a lease and was told that the rent was $2,000 a month. I didn't sit down and read every single term because I trusted my boyfriend. This is such a messed up story. The deception here is absolutely staggering. This guy had you sign a lease saying that the rent was $2,000 when he knew fair well that it was completely free. He knew that it was his parents' house and that he wasn't going to be paying anything. He lied to you completely about where that money was going, and he made paperwork to go with that lie. Wow. What else would this guy be willing to lie about as your relationship went on? You would never be able to trust him again. Time to cut and run. Alright, OP put a quick update on this one 2 weeks later. It says, I figured this merited an update. I told my ex-boyfriend I was moving out with or without the money, and he told me that if I left him, he could keep the gift for himself. I told him whatever and called his mother and told her I was leaving. She asked why, and I told her the whole story. She asked me to give her a few minutes, and then she would get back to me. I heard her call my ex in the other room, and could hear her yelling at him through the phone. She called me back and told me to take pictures of the rooms. I sent them to her, and she gave me the all clear over text. She also sent me an apology for my ex's behavior. I left and thought that was that. A few days later, I got a check in the mail for $15,000 from my ex's mom. Not exactly justice, because the original money was indeed probably gone, but I walked away feeling pretty good about the whole thing. Does anybody else feel like that money was absolutely gone and that boyfriend just was spending it and not saving it up for OP? I mean, what's a little bit of financial fraud between two people who love each other, right? I love that boyfriend's mom made OP take pictures of the rooms before OP left because they knew that the boyfriend was going to trash that place and then try and blame it on OP. I have a feeling that moms had to deal with boyfriend shenanigans in the past and might have even had to pay out other people in the past as well. Alright, we're going to go ahead and end this one here. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow us on your preferred podcasting platform. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. It really does help us out. I thank each and every one of you for watching and listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.